Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, audience, wherever you are watching and listening to me. I am going to be very brief in this open editorial monologue. My perspective on a situation reported about what allegedly was going on, that whether it is Aisha or whoever it is that is Nigeria's late president's daughter, who did a forensic of some documents and found that he suspected that his father's signature had been forged on numerous documents in Nigeria. Muhammadu Buhari's daughter allegedly found and suspected that someone within the father's inner circle had forged the late president's signature while the president was alive. Now, that opens some kind of cankerworm as to who done it in Nigeria. For all the images that we have, that we know, that we suspected, and for all the good image that Nigerians in the diaspora want to portray, that they are not hoodlums, that they are not scofflaws. That's not easy to defend. To make matters worse, this happened during the president's tenure for 8 years. We do not know at what point in his administration did that happen, but it happened, allegedly. Now, if that happened, who done it is a matter of interest to inquiring mind, of which I am one of them. I am an inquiring mind. Who would have done such an ignoble thing? People that are close to the president. As for me, with the situation of things now, knowing what I know now about the Buhari administration, anything goes. It was. To point accusing finger at a particular person is very difficult. However, we know from among those that were so overzealous about stealing, about thieving. If you ask me to name, if I have a suspect in mind, I will raise up my hand. I will say, yes, I do. That if we have to probe anyone, question anyone during the Buhari administration, I will say, who is it in Nigeria that is the most powerful, more than the president? Most people may not know that someone in any given country is always more powerful than the person that you elected. And that person is whoever is the attorney general of the country is more powerful than the president, because he is the only person that can indict a president and put a handcuffs in him and send him to jail. I have Abubakar Malami in my mind. He may not have been the one who done it, but to scapegoat him may not be fair, but he has done too much. He's beyond being suspected. To say that he's a suspect, in my mind, is not a news. To say that Abubakar Malami could have been the alleged person suspected to have masterminded the forging of the signature of Buhari. So I will put it to the world now that Abubakar Malami allegedly forged the signature of Buhari on numerous documents. That's not even where I am going with this. But unfortunately, when the issue was brought to her grandfather's notice, as in a typical Fulani approach, what did he do? Buhari's father-in-law looked at it and told his granddaughter, I cannot do anything about that because I do not want to offend people that are close to the heart of Buhari by going to him to tell him what was going on, because according to the man, he allegedly knows that Buhari was not in the lockout from knowledge of what was going on in the administration, that he was aware that some people had forged his signature and they were getting away with cutting out resources, national resources, for personal gain, which no one suspected that Buhari would have tolerated, because we measured Muhammadu Buhari when he was coming in 2014, 2015, that he was somebody above board. We do not know that we were measuring him with the Omaluabi level of General Tunde Idiagbon in the tenure of Buhari's first coming as a head of state, military, as a major general. We thought that he was above board, that he could be trusted, that he is a national hero, not knowing that he is as dirty as the dirtiest linen in the country, that every thief, every hoodlum, every scofflaw in Nigeria were queuing behind him. For what Buhari did, General Sani Abacha was an angel, because what Buhari did was beyond shamefulness, but he had no shame for importing his tribes people from foreign lands to come and populate the Nigeria environment with thuggery, with scofflaws, with people that are now killing us, and just taking off his eyes. Well, Buhari is gone. However, there are people that are still there. These people that are still there were the worst of the worst. Among them were the Mieti Alas people. Others include the likes of Ribadu. Others include the Sultan. I call him the Satan of Sokoto. Others include El Rufai, former governor, Kaduna State, alleged to have committed numerous crimes beyond listening. So I am now getting to the point where I'm saying, look, it doesn't save anything. It doesn't help our situation by knowing names and not calling them out. The best or worst they can do is to sue. And I have learned one thing. The fact that you sue does not mean that you are going to win. That's one. The fact that you win does not mean that you are going to ever be able to collect. When I have never been part of any group that brings Nigeria into a position of ridicule, being at home or abroad. So why should I be afraid of somebody who is a non-thief, allegedly, has been charged to court? I've never been charged to court. I used to tell people that, look, you only are the one that deserve to be called honorable if you have never been arrested by the police or be found guilty in a court of competent jurisdiction in Nigeria. If you are in Nigeria, then you are honorable. Not these fools, not these idiots that because they managed to steal money and use it to run for election, and then they got elected by people that are unknown, and then we are calling them excellency. We are calling them your